Greetings, everybody. This is Izzy here, coming to you with my review for Bad Boys for Life, and welcome to my film palace. It is going to be a very special review, I feel. I just finished watching Bad Boys for Life. It is 12:55 a.m. I watched the 10 o'clock show. I apologize. I was going to attempt to watch it last night on Thursday, but I didn't get a chance to because I had to work. And it drew a pretty decent crowd, actually. I think Bad Boys for Life is going to be the #1 box office winner this weekend, actually. Without further ado, let's go ahead and get into this review. The first Bad Boys came out in 1995, and then you had the sequel that came out in 2003. They're both directed by Michael Bay. And the third film had been in developmental hell for quite some time, and it was very impossible for Will Smith to get a free time in terms of doing this film. And you had Martin Lawrence, who had his own thing going on. And given how Will Smith commands such a high salary, and the fact that Michael Bay was also under budget constraints when it came to doing this film, with that said, Michael Bay did not return to direct the third film. The third film is directed by a team duo of, let's see if I can pronounce the name right, Adil El Arbi, Bilal Fallah. Never heard of these guys or women, don't know who they are. But I will say this, though, that Bad Boys for Life, before I really get into the details of this review, I want to go ahead and state that this headband here, I decided to switch it around a little bit because it's going to fit into the narrative that I'm attempting to convey with my audience. Bad Boys and Bad Boys 2 were obviously they're buddy cop films filled with a lot of action, a lot of interactive humor between Martin Lawrence and Will Smith. They have a wonderful chemistry with one another. And the Miami life, in terms of what Michael Bay was presenting with his directorial style, is very bright, colorful, very exotic. It gives you kind of a magical, majestic sense of what Miami was all about in terms of the film that he was creating and the environment that the characters were in. Bad Boys for Life, I have to say, folks, reviews have said this is probably the best of the trilogy, and I have to say, the reviews are real. Bad Boys for Life is definitely the best of the Bad Boys trilogy. It is absolutely phenomenal. Here we are where it still feels weird saying 2020. The last Bad Boys film came out in 2003, and you're talking about 17 years later, we are here talking about the third Bad Boys film and have Martin Lawrence and Will Smith at the top of their game. And they literally bring everything that they have to their roles. And it was very refreshing, actually, just to have this true buddy cop element coming to life all over once again. And you're having them just interact with one another with profanity, witty slapstick one-liners. And the action is just out of this world. I will say, there is a lot of the Michael Bay trademarks and tributes here. But one thing that this film really did do amazingly well is that even though it manages to maintain the tone that Michael Bay created, this film, I have to say, folks, this is absolutely dark. One of the main reasons why that I flipped over this headband is because this is the darkest, grittiest Bad Boys film. I mean, granted, there's only been 3 of them, but this is the darkest and grittiest Bad Boys film that you will ever have the pleasure of watching. It starts off dark, and the darkness remains. It is violent, it is bloody, it is gritty, it is brutal, and the overall tone, it matches what the chaos that's going around the characters of Mike Lowrey and Marcus Burnett. Will Smith's character, Mike Lowrey, he's still this energetic, chaotic, unpredictable, ride-or-die character who is trying to convince Marcus Burnett, his partner, to continue that same ride-or-die lifestyle, whereas Marcus instead wanted to retire. A ghost from Mike's past returns, and they have to go about trying to find out exactly what is going on and why did this ghost have to return at this precise moment. And the intensity never lets up. There's a lot of comedy, obviously, but there are a lot of dark. I mean, I know I sound very repetitious here, folks, but this film is absolutely dark. It is the epitome of a dark, gritty, buddy cop. I mean, it's been a while since I've actually seen or watched a buddy cop element that actually is very gritty, and this is no exception. This is just one of those type of films where it makes no apologies, and I have to say that is the beautiful thing about this film, is that it still maintains the tone that Michael Bay created, but at the same time, it's its own film, and it's still a breath of fresh air. It was wonderful seeing the characters of Mike Lowry and Marcus Burnett come back, and they're still. I mean, the way they interact with one another is just absolutely hilarious. It's funny, but at the same time, there is still a lot of cathartic heart and humor within the conversations that they're having with one another. You truly believe in the brotherhood bond that they have formed with one another, and that both of them, are willing to die for each other, and that's what makes it so special. It is a drastic improvement from Bad Boys 2, whereas Bad Boys 2, Michael Bay was more or less doing his own version of making his own film, obviously, and it was more along the lines of a 2 hour plus film of just wonderful shots of Miami, insane action, and little to no character development, which is what we come to expect from Michael Bay, obviously, but that doesn't make it a bad film. But the positive of this film, I have to say, is the performances of Martin Lawrence and Will Smith. They bring it once again. They're highly entertaining, and they play well off each other. The action is just spectacular, just down in the dirt, brutal, bloody, unexpected, chaotic, about what you'd expect. And the music, the Bad Boys theme the Bad Boys orchestral theme and the Bad Boys song further along the storyline, and it adds the overall intensity in this film. Absolutely brilliant, a wonderful inclusion still. Gives you that amplified sensation of you being on the ride or die journey with them. The only negative that I could possibly think of in terms of this film is that I wish it was a little bit longer. I mean, it goes relatively quick. It is about 2 hours and 14 minutes, but I would love to have seen maybe have another 10, 15 minutes added on, just because I love the whole dynamic with the new team that they're forced to work with. They're so used to, well, Mike Lowry in particular. I don't want to get into any detailed spoilers, but for them to actually have to work this new team that is part of the state of the art law enforcement division, it's hilarious. I mean, they are constantly at butting heads with one another, and it's a wonderful treat to watch this old school type of mentality interact with the new school, the new blood, if you will. There is a lot of, like I said, there is a lot of emotionality in this film. There is a lot of blood. There is a lot of. I don't want to get into any type of detailed spoilers, because I want everybody to watch this film for themselves. I mean, this is truly one of the best buddy cop action films that I've ever watched in my life. And I know I'm the type of person who always typically gives positive reviews of films that I love, but I have to say I plan on watching Bad Boys for Life again. This is a wonderful, wonderful trilogy, if you will. This has broke the trilogy. This is once again another film that didn't suffer from the trilogy curse, whereas the third film always tends to be the weakest of the franchise. This really just amplifies, I think, and perhaps maybe the 17-year break that it took was desperately needed, because it just, as I said, it feels so fresh, it feels so unique, and it gives you that sense of escapism, where it's just, it's nothing deeper philosophical. It just gives you that wild ride of entertainment and wonderful one-liners and great humor and great chemistry between the actors of Will Smith and Martin Lawrence, and just wonderful, 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 spectacular action, my friends. I cannot recommend this film enough. This is definitely something that everybody needs to watch, and you need to watch it definitely this weekend. You definitely need to continue to watch it during the week. Invite your friends. Obviously, it's not for kids, folks. It's definitely not for kids. You do not think that you could take. I mean, you can if you want to. It's up to you. But it's definitely not something that you would take a 4 or 5-year-old to watch. This is definitely something that you want to watch with your girlfriend, your wife, your parents, your friends, your college friends, or what have you. You definitely need to check this film out for sure. You will not be disappointed at all. And I know, as a critic myself, obviously it's my job to tell you how I feel about the film, but I also don't want to feel as though that I'm bombarding you with my own perception in terms of how I feel about this particular form of cinema. I want everybody to still go in with an open mind and to form their own opinion. And if you like it, that's great. If you don't like it, that's fine as well. But as Chris, we need to understand that our word is not the gospel. But I typically want to view myself as someone who has pretty decent taste in films. Again, greatness is subjective. What's good for me might not be good for the next person. What's amazing for me might be amazing for the next person and might not. But either way, I feel as though that I'm a pretty good judge of character when it comes to cinema. I know that may sound a bit egotistical, but either way, I have to recommend Bad Boys for Life. This is one film that I will be watching again for sure, and then I don't think I will get tired of it because, as I said, it just doesn't bore you either. Even though it's 2 hours plus, it goes by relatively quick, and that's when you know it's a great film where you're not checking your phone. You're just before you know it, it's over, and it goes relatively quick, my friends. And there's a lot of cool Mexican symbolism as well that where they actually go into Mexico City and you learn about certain Mexican religious legends, and that was a cool inclusion in the film as well. That's a minor spoiler, but again, not detailed. Once again, spoiler free, my friends. I hope everybody does get a chance to watch it because you will not be disappointed. Again, it sounded repetitious here, but you will definitely enjoy this film for sure. By far, an amazing buddy cop action film that will go down as one of the best to have ever been made. I have to give Bad Boys for Life a 5 out of 5, 2 thumbs up. I hope everybody gets a chance to watch it. Let me know in the comment section what you thought about it. Let me know on my Facebook what you thought about it. The link will be, my link for my YouTube channel is on my Facebook, and you could let me know in the comment section of my Facebook and on my YouTube what you thought about it. Provide a like if you want. Either way, you will be hearing from me again soon, my friends, and I hope everybody continues to stay safe and stay warm and be healthy, and you'll be hearing from me again, my friends. Take care, and peace out. Bad Boys for Life, 5 out of 5.